Ladies and gents, we are coming at you with the 5th episode of the AYC pre-Congress vlog. Last time we spoke with David Ashrick. Go and check it out if you haven't done so already. But this time we have the privilege of hosting the other of our two main speakers, Daniel Bosqued from Spain. Daniel is a super educated guy and he currently works as the president in the Suomen Adventist College in Valencia. But shall we let him to tell more about himself? Here we go, we have on the line other of our two main speakers in the AYC Congress, Daniel Bosqued. Hello. Was that a correct way to pronounce your name?
Yes, I would say Daniel Bosqued, but yes, it's very well pronounced.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a Spanish way. Daniel
Sí.
Bosqued.
Daniel Bosqued.
Sí. Yeah, anyway, welcome to the AYC vlog and also to the Congress itself that is in less than 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jonah. It's a pleasure to be here.
As the Congress is now getting closer and closer very quickly, we would like to introduce you to the Congress guests that are coming to Finland. So would you tell us a little bit about who you are and why you are coming to the AYC?
Okay, my name is Daniel Bosqued. I'm currently working as president of Suomen Adventist College here in Spain by the shore of the Mediterranean. I studied a PhD in theology in River Plate Adventist University, Argentina, where I met my wife. So I married an Argentinian woman, and we have 2 daughters, Amy and Amber. Previously, I worked in Spain as a Spanish Union Youth Director from 2012 to 2017.
And am I correct that your brother is now the...
Yes, my brother Jonathan now is the director in the Spanish Union. Yeah.
Yes.
So before that, I worked 4 years as a pastor, youth pastor and pastor of a regular church. And I studied psychology, theology, nursing. So, but my main interest is youth, is the Bible. I'm also teacher of theology here at Sagunto Faculty of Theology. So basically, this is who I am and what I'm doing now. And it was a surprise being invited to the Youth Congress. As you can tell, English is not my mother tongue. I do my best. I studied 1 year at PUC back in 2001, and I know some English from then. But yeah, to me, it's an honor being invited, and hopefully the presentations that will be given, hopefully will be a blessing, and I'm praying for that.
I'm sure of that. There was quite a lot of studying and it was like a official biography. But to get to know you on more like a brotherly level, would you share one experience that you are especially proud about, and also on the other hand, one experience that you find actually quite embarrassing?
I'm proud. When you mention about being proud, I'm very proud of my daughters. I really have fun with them, playing with them, and hiking with them, and with my wife. We like travel together by car, but I don't know if that is something that I'm proud of because of me, because I didn't do much. They are just amazing, my 2 daughters. And something that I feel embarrassed. I forget usually many things. And for example, I forgot names of people that I was supposed to know in churches where I have been a pastor, and I have a very difficult time remembering names and connecting with faces. Sometimes I feel like, yes, hello, how are you? After many years, and I have a hard time with that. So I'm embarrassed by that. I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you meet a lot of people in your work, so it's quite understandable not to remember.
Yeah, but I
their names.
admire. I know people that can, after years, they just see you. Yes, your name, and I remember from here and there. That's amazing. I don't have that gift.
Well, we can't have everything.
Yes.
But hey, Daniel, I have chosen this time just 3 questions from the audience to keep this interview short and simple. To begin with, I would like to ask the same question that we asked from David Ashrick. Who is your favorite character in the Bible, apart from Jesus, of course?
Okay, I would say Paul. I feel very connected with him. He had a transforming experience, as you all know, but he had to fight against 2 empires. It's amazing to me how he struggled with his own thoughts, how he found grace, how he gave his life to preach grace, how he changed the Christendom actually, and I just admire him a lot. So Paul would be the one.
I remember many other people saying Paul too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's one of the big 5, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on, let's go to the second question. What made you originally to study theology?
Okay. I've been asked this question several times. My father was a pastor, so I guess that's the main reason. I lived a very happy childhood. I remember my days in the church, in the local church, traveling from church to church with my family, with my brother. So I think this kind of impacted me, and I never thought about being anything else. It's true that I studied something else. I studied nursing and I worked as a nurse in California. I studied psychology, but it was all connected with the main call that was pastor. And being a pastor to me is one of it's my call. So, but you can do many things being a pastor. I mean, you can work with youth, with elder, you can travel, you can write, you can create movies, you can sing songs, you can, like now I have to be in a campus, in a college, so where I can get to try the administration. So it has given me a lot of opportunities to try different roles in ministry. And that to me is amazing. So as I was growing, I felt the call bigger and higher in myself. And when I tried being a pastor, to me it's amazing. Just the thing that the church somehow sustains you and your family and your ministry, and you can get everything to God and for this mission. So I love being a pastor in any position that God or the church leads me.
Yeah, so I would guess you would recommend studying theology to the youth.
Only if it's your call. I mean, it's not for everyone, and not everyone needs to be a pastor. And I have had conversations with students of theology that were struggling and having a hard time, and I somehow told them, hey, just leave it. Don't worry. God didn't call you to be this if this is not your passion. Because some people somehow they get converted and they hear God gave everything to you. What will you give to God? And they feel I need to study theology, and it's a wrong thought. God calls many gifts, many people, many different vocations. So it's not for everyone. If you think about being a pastor and you feel, oh, this is not my call, please don't study theology, ever. But if you feel this call, it's a great opportunity to display your gifts in a mission.
Yeah, that's actually a very, very good advice in a nutshell. So going deeper into your studies in theology, there's a question you mentioned about the PhD that you did. What was the topic of your dissertation?
Yes, I studied Romans 11:26. I spent 3 years of my life digging into that the Bible, into that verse, and it talks about the salvation of all Israel. While I was studying theology, I went to a seminar where I heard that some of the interpretation of that verse were that the actual people of Israel, the nation of Israel, was going to be saved just because of being Israel. It was shocking to me. I tried to investigate a little bit, and I found out that most, if not all, the Roman commentaries spoke in that direction. Just a few, actually only one, in these last years, spoke in a spiritual sense of the true Israel being composed of the true Jews, like Roman on Paul says. So I went through the Bible studying the word Israel, and I found out that it meant different things throughout different ages. Somehow Israel is a key term that is applied to different subjects during the history. Even the Maccabees, and in Qumran, and in the Old Testament, and in different times in the same Bible. So somehow Paul, what he does is redefines Israel as this theological entity that we share as Adventists. But my role was to somehow prove that through the Bible, and actually try to demonstrate what Paul was really, or not demonstrate, but find out what Paul was really saying in that verse through the argumentation in Romans. So I really had a good time. I don't recommend many people to read that dissertation. Over 300 pages is somehow technical, but in a nutshell is that Israel is the name of the one who has fought with God, and who has won and conquered, and who is part now of the people of Israel, composed of anyone without distinction.
Yeah, I remember actually also hearing a sermon about this, and it's very clear that Israel is not
an ethnic entity
pointing to a country itself.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now getting back to the AYC topic. Now, before we close this little interview, could you give us a little sneak peek about what are you going to preach about in the AYC?
Yes. I will have the morning devotionals, and on Wednesday we will read in chapter 20 of John. We will speak. My role will be to speak a little bit of what David will speak on Tuesday about this unplug, about rest, and I will speak based in John how we somehow plug to things that harm us, and we need to unplug from those things. In this case, we will speak about unplugging from suffering, from pain. This question of why are you crying, and I will like people to actually understand in their own lives that maybe we are connected with things that we shouldn't be connected, because they just create pain in our lives, and there is something really new ahead of us. That will be Wednesday. On Thursday, we will speak about Holy Spirit, and we will try to think in John 19 in a very interesting verse, how we can create. If we leave the Spirit apart, religion has no sense. Not even the law of God has sense. And we can actually create our own law that has nothing to do with the true spirit of the law. So we will try to separate the true meaning of the Spirit, living by the Spirit, and what the law has to do with that. And on Friday, finally, is about service. In John 13, we will review this episode where Jesus becomes the servant, and we will try to see how that is connected with mission, even though there might be times where we don't understand what is going on, and we will explore what the situation was and what the disciples were thinking, and we will read from Ellen G. White what she says about that, and we will try to get something for us, useful for our service. So that will be my 3 morning devotionals in the Congress.
All right, we are very much looking forward to it. Thank you for your time, Daniel, and we will all see you in the beginning of August in Finland.
Thank you, Jonah. A pleasure to meet you.
And thank you also for everyone who watched this video. And remember to like and subscribe the channel because that helps us to grow the channel. There's one more pre-Congress vlog episode still coming up, so stay tuned and we will see you in July.